What we are doing is essentially counting down to what has been weeks of suspense when it comes down to one rank, one pension. What is expected now in the next 20 minutes? Gaurav and I would be cutting across to the Defence Ministry. A word coming in that the Defence Minister would be addressing that press conference very soon where he will announce one rank, one pension. But Gaurav, as we were pointing out, the action is also today at Jantar Mantar, where we've seen a massive congregation of ex-servicemen swelling in the last few hours.
Let's quickly cut across to Jantar Mantar. India Today Group's managing editor Rahul Kanwal standing by with the latest. Rahul, it's over to you.
We are joined now by the people who've been the face of the one rank, one pension agitation. You can see some sense of relief that finally one rank, one pension is becoming a reality, but they don't trust the bureaucrats. Make no mistake, the officers here don't trust the bureaucrats. They want to see every comma, every full stop, and only when will they know whether or not what has been promised is actually what is being rolled out or not. There are few points which are still very important. I want to go across now to a man who's really emerged as the hero of the one rank, one pension agitation, the face of the soldiers' movement, Major General Satbir Singh. So welcome to India Today. And I must say that congratulations to you and to all the people who've been part of the one rank, one pension team. You've agitated for 80 days now, and finally you've been able to do what people have been trying for 40 years but haven't succeeded.
First of all, I am thankful to the Almighty who has given us the strength to go on for 83 days, who has ensured that the people on hunger strike till death, they have not gone and they have come back all right. Only one man is in the hospital now. And of course, in the length and breadth of the country, at more than 100 places, this agitation is going on for the last 83 days. Now, the government has made some positive moves for which I think we all are to be happy about it, but the final thing we will tell you once we hear from the government what they are going to announce on the implementation of one rank, one pension.
Are you still suspicious of the bureaucrats, still suspicious and wanting to see the final comma, final full stop before you actually believe that the government is doing what they've promised you in interaction? So,
Rahul, from 1947 till 2015 today, the bureaucracy has brought us down. They have degraded us, downgraded us, they have ill-treated us, they have mistreated us with full stop and comma. They have schemed up. I can give you n number of examples. Say for rank pay, it was supposed to be added. Now, minimum of the pension, minimum of the rank, they made it minimum of the pay band. How we had to go to the courts. 12,000 people went to the court and 11,000 won by us. See the magnitude of injustice. One Harbans Singh, who ensured that every case which we won from the FT was pushed in to the SSLP in the Supreme Court. Can my widow from Kerala come here to get 500 rupees per month from the Supreme Court? Impossible. So therefore, we are apprehensive of the bureaucracy till the end. So we will like to see the printout as to what it is. As long as the minimum, that is, the definition is upheld and executed in letter and spirit without even changing commas and full stop, we will welcome.
I'm told you had a good meeting with Raksha Mantri Manohar Parrikar, and several of the concerns you had previously have now been accepted. And did the government come across as sincere to you, sir?
Yes. Today, in our meeting, it was an excellent meeting. The Defence Minister was very, very cordial to us, and as he has been ever. Now, today he gave us what we were looking for. First point, he said, the concept has been approved of one rank, one pension. Second thing, he said, the VRS which they were talking of yesterday, we explained to him that it is not applicable to...
But I think there was some confusion there. What the government was saying was those who leave before time, if you serve only for a couple of years and you leave, they will not be eligible to one rank, one pension. But in any case, they don't get any pension at all.
No. You see what happens? If a Havaldar with 24 years of service, if he goes after 17 years of service, he still gets a pension, but gets a Sipahi's pension. he will get one rank one pension of his Sipahi. He may not get a one rank one pension of a Havaldar. Similarly, a Naik who goes 22 years is accepted date, so many years of service. Now, if a Naik goes at 15, he'll get a Sipahi's pension and not a Naik's pension. That is what he meant, and that is what it should be, and that is what he's understood it now, and that's what he said. Yes, we will apply that.
Ma'am, are you happy that finally one rank, one pension is coming through? You've all been struggling very hard in this relentless sun for 80 days now.
I am delighted. We are extremely grateful to Major General Satbir Singh. He's been our guiding force. Yes, we have been behind him all the way, and we will still be there. We're not going to let anybody get away with this at all.
Okay, sir, do you sense that the government is delivering, or are army men and air force men and navy men still suspicious?
Well, I'll say just in few words that this whole situation, the struggle which has been going on for the last almost 80 days, could have been avoided. What they've done today, they would have done it earlier.
But at least better late than never. It's been pending for 40 years. It's finally happening now.
Of course, we are very, very happy, delighted, and I think everybody should be very happy. Once we know the final result, as General has said just now, then finally the next call will be taken.
So do you think a message will go out that, because everybody's been very upset that veterans have been upset, do you think a message will go out from Jantar Mantar today that veterans are reasonably satisfied with what the government has done, sir?
We must wait for the final decision, because people have been promising earlier and going back on it. I am still keeping my fingers crossed. Everything should come out.
General Satbir, are you willing to accept what the government is saying now, that an annual revision in pension is very difficult? They're saying that this could set a bad precedent for the CRPF, the BSF, the CISF, and therefore once in 5 years is okay.
I think all those who are saying this should read the Constitution again. The task of the armed forces is to protect the integrity and sovereignty of the nation. The task of other armed forces, including, which means BSF, CRPF and CPO, is to maintain law and order.
But the reality is the BSF serves next to the army in so many places in Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, I agree with you. I don't want to talk of conflict situation. I am only saying that this particular concept, first, if it has to be given to anyone, it is defense forces, and others, if the country can afford, they are my brothers. Please give it to them. But
is it not unfair to give it to the army and deny it to others?
No. This one rank, we are not talking of 1 year. We are not talking of 6 months. We are not talking of 1 month. What we are saying is, once you accept, they have accepted today in letter and spirit that the concept of one rank, one pension is hereby approved in letter and spirit, which means they must implement that in letter and spirit. I have laid down only 3 conditions. Number 1, no senior should ever draw less pension than his junior. Number 2, whenever there is a rate change, it must be applied. One rank, one pension today stands sanctioned only for service, and it will be sanctioned for them. They can ask, is that there? In any case, all the central government class A services are getting review after every 1 year. In NFU, what is NFU? I told him today, non-functional upgrade. Here is a chap who functions as only a equivalent to a major, but he's drawing a pension of a lieutenant general, and which is changed every month, every year. So they are getting every year enhancements. Latest is passed on to them. Then what are they talking about us? NFU, when they granted, they did not talk of all these calculations. Is the soldier only to be talked about? Therefore,
are you saying?
What I am saying is, kindly, they said, can we give it to the committee? We said, actually speaking, there is no need, because already you have accepted, then execute it. But if you want the letter to be written down and specify the timing, you order an inquiry, anyone, not 1 member, but 5 member. We want a committee.
And 1 judicial member.
They said 1 judicial, we have said no, sir. Because that judicial gentleman does not know ABC of the army. He will only say IPC dhara number 286 या धारा number 86 and तुम बताओ statement दो, वो ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. We have to work out we said 5-member team under the defense minister, 3 members from us, 1 member from serving, and 1 member he can detail judicial XYZ, we don't mind. Second, the timings will be not more than 30 days. The committee must submit the report. Thirdly, the 2 more conditions to it, that is in letter.
All right. We seem to have lost that source there. We're going to try and re-establish that connect. Our managing editor Rahul Kanwal speaking to General Satbir Singh, who's practically got it. If you look at it, he's come to be the face of this campaign, especially in the last couple of months, because, you know, whether or not our ex-servicemen across the country have been on board with what the government has been saying, but the face of this agitation has played out at Jantar Mantar.
Oh, absolutely. General Satbir Singh, Colonel, has been relentlessly campaigning for one rank, one pension even before Jantar Mantar. In fact, for the past almost 10 years, he's been spearheading this movement through either court battles or petitions.
There's another Colonel, Inderjeet Singh.
Yes.
He's also been at it for a very, very long time.
Right.
And with all energy and with all focus, they have been taking this
Well,
issue.
let's hope, Colonel, I'm afraid I'm coming in, but let's just hope it bears fruit. And the reason I'm coming in is because I'm being told we have my colleague Jugal Purohit joining us from the Ministry of Defence, and we want to go quickly to him before that press conference starts. Jugal, it's over to you. What are you picking up?
Well, Preeti, we are inside the Defence Ministry's. This is the venue where you see foreign delegations coming here, historic deals being signed between different countries and the Defence Ministry and the Union of India. This is, in a sense, a historic place, the conference room of the Defence Ministry. I just want to give you a sense of what's taking place out here. My camera person, Pinaki Sen, will just zoom in and give you a sense of the situation. Ahead are all the officers of the Army, of the Navy, as well as the Air Force who are here right now. I'm given to understand that the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, as well as the Chief of Naval Staff, all 3 of them, along with the top 3 bureaucrats of the Defence Ministry, will be flanking the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar. So in a sense, you see, symbolism has a lot of value, Preeti. The Defence Ministry calling the media into this particular room, which has its own significance, having all the 3 service chiefs and the top bureaucrats flanking the Defence Minister. It is an effort to tell just how symbolically important and powerful this announcement, this occasion in history is going to be. And for the government, at least, we will have to see what the black and white is, but at least for the government, they are definitely not going to stop short of anything but calling it a historic declaration, fulfillment of a demand which has been going on for 40 years. Now let's just recap quickly what has been taking place. Yesterday, the draft which our managing editor Rahul Kanwal accessed first, that draft had an extremely adverse reaction coming out of the veterans. They rejected it completely, and they said that there are clauses which are absolutely unacceptable. Then this morning they said that there will be a massive rally on the 12th of September threatening the government in a sense that their draft is unacceptable. Then we saw this afternoon General Satbir Singh and others who were leading the protesters coming in here in South Block, meeting the Defence Minister for about 45 minutes and then not saying a word against the government. They've said that they held the meeting in a very, very conducive atmosphere and that their points were heard by the Defence Minister, and they hope that they will be included. So for now, that adversarial position has completely vanished. What in fact the veterans are saying is that we had a nice meeting and we are looking forward to the black and white, after which they said on the stage, I was there very much, when they said that we will perhaps take a call to even call it off depending on what the government gives us. And very importantly,
exactly, what the government is looking forward to. Jugal, that's exactly what the government is also looking forward to. The government wants the veterans on board, especially before the crucial Bihar elections. In fact, some even questioning the timing of this declaration of one rank, one pension. But as far as the government is concerned, Jugal, your sources, both in the Armed Forces headquarters and in the ministry, telling you that this is the best that the government can do. Review at best every 3 years, if not 5 years, or leave it to that one-man committee or 5-man committee, as the decision may be, to discuss when will the review of one rank, one pension take place, Jugal.
Absolutely, Gaurav. In fact, if we are to just tell for our viewers the entire chronology of events, if you see just before the Independence Day celebrations, there was a hectic negotiation taking place between officials from the Government of India's Finance, Defence and PMO with the veterans. But on the 12th of August is when the entire thing came a cropper, because the veterans said that this is unacceptable what the government is saying. After that, we saw the PM at the ramparts of the Red Fort announcing कि मैं तिरंगे के नीचे से आपको ये भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि OROP हो जाएगा. And when he said that, after that we are seeing that there is space, that this entire issue has picked up. Meetings started becoming a very regular occurrence. Nipendra Mishra, the principal secretary to the Prime Minister, came into the picture. The army chief started meeting them. There were as many as 6 to 7 mediators from the government side at one point in time, much to the dismay of the veterans. But we definitely saw the pace in this entire thing picking up. And yes, Gaurav, you're right. Insofar as the government's own stand is concerned, they are at least till now informally telling us that look, we've come this far. Have any of the other governments even come so close? The answer is obviously no. They've overcome bureaucratic apathy, which was described in the Bhagat Singh Koshyari Parliament report on OROP. They've overcome a lot of resistance from different cadres against the armed forces, and they are saying that what we are giving is the best. But the real question, Gaurav, now is that was the entire struggle about money? Was it about better pensions, or was it about Izzat and Shohar and Izzat, basically about the veterans as they were claiming? Now there is a section, Gaurav, which feels that if the government only ends up increasing their pension, then it will basically mean belittling the veterans by saying that here is some money, some more that you were fighting for, so we give you some more money. One rank, one pension, as has been described in the Bhagat Singh Koshyari Committee report of 2011, as has been accepted in two budgets, interim budget of the NDA, the first one, and the vote on account of UPA, the last one. Will that be the definition which will be upheld or not? That's the most critical point, Gaurav. And if it isn't, then this will just end up becoming an extremely impressive enhancement of pensions, but not one rank, one pension.
Okay, the definition of one rank, one pension. The veterans even at this point of time are saying that if the revision takes place every 5 years, then it becomes one rank, 5 pensions. But let me bring in Colonel Thapar. Colonel Thapar, Jugal Purohit had an outstanding story in today's Mail today, where he talks about the veterans themselves, the soldiers in 2011, the Army and the Air Force telling the Koshyari Committee that an annual review is not possible. We accept 5 years, that will be reasonable. Would it be wrong for the veterans to go back from that stand today?
Well, I am not privy to whatever you have said, and I think we should leave the past now and concentrate more on the present. What I feel is that this could have been avoided by reading the wind, which way the wind is blowing, and the indications of the thing going bad from day to day were very evident. We have a government in place. They could sense it, and they would have been very magnanimous. They should have been big-hearted, because as I said earlier, in these matters where you are dealing with a very important constituent of our country, that is the army. If you are big-hearted, you've given 100 rupees more by error. You are not giving any, there's no scam involved or anything. You are giving it to your men who have done so much for you. You want to glorify in Haji Pir, you want to glorify in Khem Karan, you want to glorify in all the battles, Asar Uttar and everything. And then when it comes to giving, you are bargaining.
Right.
You know, it gives the impression of, we are asking and you are giving little bit.
Okay. Right.
Colonel, that is.
Yeah, and the fine print of that giving will only be established, I guess, Gaurav, in the next 20 minutes. So what we're going to do is, the story is taking place in 2 areas right now, 2 vantage positions. India Today has their cameras. One at the MOD, Ministry of Defence. My colleague Jugal Purohit marking that, getting us the very latest. Expected Manohar Parrikar anytime going to be making the statement on one rank, one pension. On the other hand, of course, it's going to be Jantar Mantar, because that is where our veterans, our ex-servicemen have been protesting now for over 3 months. Okay, we're going to stay with the story. We were going to go into a quick break, but I believe what we are expecting anytime is that press conference to begin. And if Jugal is still with us, maybe our producers can tell us. Jugal, if you're still with us, just take us through with what you're witnessing right now. Also, who all will be in attendance in this particular press briefing, other than the minister, the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, and Also, give us perspective on where exactly is this press conference taking place, because by, the looks of it, Gaurav, it does seem that the government is going to make that point that this is a fairly red letter day when it comes down to our armed forces. Jugal, can you hear me?
In South Block, Preeti.
Alright, you don't have Jugal, you can, yes, Gaurav, you've been here many times.
Many times. This is on the first floor of South Block. This is the main conference hall. When you have the Army Commanders Conference, the Combined Commanders Conference, the Prime Minister, the Defence Minister, the Home Minister, the National Security Advisor, they address the armed forces here. This is on the first floor of South Block, right next to where the Chief of the Naval Staff sits. And this is in the corridor that leads to the Ministry of External Affairs and then the Prime Minister's office. Very, very crucial part of the Ministry of Defence in South Block. That's point one. And point two, you have flags of all the corps, all the commands, all the services of the three services. And this is where the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar in a short while will address the media. The Chief of the Army Staff, the Chief of the Naval Staff, the Chief of the Air Staff are likely to be with him, along with the Defence Secretary, Secretary Defence Production, and the Raksha, apart from Raksha Utpadan Rajya, Sachiv, right. That is RURS, you will also have Secretary Defence Finance, who will be there. So all the secretaries,
just a minute.
Yes, Mr.
It is on a lighter note. I have 37 years of service and 73 years to my credit.
Right.
But I have not seen that room which Gaurav has already seen.
That Gaurav is pretty true. Well, I want to cut across to Jugal Purohit, my colleague who's right now Colonel Thapar in that very room. Jugal, how far would it be, and how, right or wrong would it be to say that today, if all goes well, would be a red letter day where the armed forces is concerned and their fight for one rank, one pension?
Well, Preeti, I don't think there's any doubt about that. In fact, it will end up correcting the wrong which was inflicted on the armed forces, as they say, in 1973. So in that sense, you will have corrected something which took place 42 years ago almost. So there is no denying that. But we also need to understand right now that today what is going to take place may actually even end up breaking a lot of hearts, disappointing a lot of people. 30 lakh people, in fact, are watching all of this happening right now across length and breadth of the country. They want to see the government giving what was initiated by Mr. Modi at his rally in Rewari in September 2013, exactly 2 years ago. They want the fulfillment of their promise. Now, whether or not that takes place, whether it remains to be, whether it just ends up becoming an enhancement of pension, as many fear, and say that was not the fight at all about enhancement of pension. The fight was to get what was promised to us. So there is a lot of things. There are a lot of things at stake right now, Preeti, as we talk. And I am inside the Defence Ministry's conference room. It's a place which I just described has a lot of history attached to it. We are seeing three service chiefs, three top bureaucrats flanking the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, a first-time Defence Minister, ex-Goa CM, coming here and announcing what many believe will be the final solution to this problem. Is it acceptable?
In fact, the government now saying, Jugal, government sources telling India today that even if this is not the final solution, we will work towards a final solution. Let's move forward from this point. And I want to bring in Rahul Kanwal on that note. Rahul, the government sources are telling India today, this is a benchmark. Let's accept this and let's move to improve that. And that is why that special committee being set up, Rahul.
But the problem, Gaurav, is that servicemen are highly suspicious of bureaucrats. They don't believe. The bureaucrats, they believe, have given them a raw deal since 1973. They've had to pay for the fact that they've had faith, they've believed in the government, and that the system's been unfair to them. Now, as this agitation reaches a crescendo, finally some smiles here at Jantar Mantar. The servicemen have been fasting, 14 of them on a hunger strike for 84 days. There's a buzz in the air here at Jantar Mantar, and finally some smiles. Those veterans who've been crying, who've had tears in their eyes, who've been upset, who've been emotional, finally feeling that this agitation is reaching its climax. They though want to see every comma, every full stop. As I said, they're not going to believe just when the Raksha Mantri or a bureaucrat makes an announcement. They want to see how this translates on the ground, because that's been the problem, you know, in the way, because they believe that the system is skewed against them, because the pensions, the salaries are actually decided by bureaucrats. Therefore, they skew it in a way that it benefits those in the IAS and it works against the soldiers, and that their status has been constantly degraded, which is a fact, and therefore they have reason to be suspicious. Right now, though, they are waiting for Manohar Parrikar's press conference to start, but there is a sense of relief that after all this while, I want to walk with my camera person Kirpal Singh and show you what's happening over here, because finally there is a sense of relief that after all these years this agitation is now reaching its end. This has been going on. There have been children of servicemen, there have been ex-servicemen who've been coming over here every single day from morning till late into the evening and agitating, and it really pains my heart to see servicemen having to fight for their rights. This should have never come to this. They should have had this long back, without this turning into political agitation, without this turning into a prolonged agitation. They should have had their rights long back. We of course will keep coming back here. We're going to take you back to Gaurav and Preeti in the studio for a moment. Gaurav, take it away.
All right, Rahul, we're going to come back to you at Jantar Mantar as well. So like we said, the story is unfolding at two places right now. What we are expecting in just the next 5 minutes, Gaurav, the Defence Minister, Manohar Parrikar, would be addressing that press conference. You can see that frame on the left-hand side. And the other, of course, Jantar Mantar, where we have our managing editor, Rahul Kaval. There in the studio, we have Colonel Thapar, giving us a larger perspective on how things are unfolding as we speak.